right, my take on the Khabib McGregor fight. Wow, wow. That fight was mind blowing. I mean, there's a lot we can learn from this fight. One thing is, be careful who you smack talk. Because obviously, I know there's a lot of showmanship these days with all fights going on, whether it's UFC, whether it's boxing. I mean, the Mayweather McGregor fight in boxing had so much smack talk, it was ridiculous. And Mayweather had the tendency of smack talking everyone and anyone. And so did McGregor, and it worked. But sometimes you just smack talk the wrong people, and then things don't really go out as planned. I mean, the fight itself was pretty good. Honestly, I was expecting McGregor to have a bit more of an upper hand in the first two rounds, which I was surprised not to see. I felt like he came back on the third round for a bit, but like the first two rounds, I honestly thought that McGregor would just keep Khabib at bay. Khabib wouldn't be he would be super cautious not to approach, obviously because McGregor has a great left hand. So I'm surprised Khabib just decided to take him down in the first round. I did not see that coming at all. But it is what it is. It was crazy that he even rocked him on the second round with our right hand. Again, did not see that coming. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good fight. I wanted honestly to see more from McGregor. I thought that, especially after all what has gone on with the bus attacks and all that smack talk, it would have been honestly a bit more even. But I honestly did not feel that it was an even fight, and I was a bit disappointed with that. However, what was really crazy about that fight is what happened afterward. So there's this guy called Dillian Danis, I believe, and he's one of McGregor's main training partners, his actual grappling training partner. And this guy basically smack talked Khabib just after he submitted Conor McGregor with the rear naked choke. And Khabib leaped over the fence like he was doing parkour in his free time and wrestling bears. I'm not even sure how he can have time for both those things. He leaped over the fence and essentially started whacking the guy, while at the same time the Eagle crew, whatever they're called, jumped in and started bashing on Conor, who was already pretty much exhausted. And I didn't think that was honestly the right thing to do. I know, he was fighting fire with fire, I guess. There was a lot of bad blood. There was a lot of smack talk. But the lesson here, I think, is even though it is a sport that is all about showmanship, I think there should be a limit to at least what kind of topics he discussed. I mean, obviously, there was a lot of crap talking about faith, religion. There was a lot of talking about politics. Conor talked about his father. McGregor, and then Khabib talked about the Irish language, whatever. There was a lot of stuff there I don't think was there and I shouldn't have been. And it just became overly political. I mean, I know you're trying to sell tickets, and obviously it went quite well from that perspective. I'm not really sure how good it did, even if it matched the Conor Mayweather fight. But for a UFC fight, I would say it did pretty good. I would assume. I'm not an expert, but yeah, you gotta. I think I have to blame this all a bit on Dana, because the stuff with the bus. Yes, I mean, yeah, Connor did get a bit of a slap on the wrist, but stuff like that shouldn't fly. It shouldn't. There should be some kind of limitation on how far you're willing to go smack talking someone else. And this time, Connor smack talked simply the wrong guy. This guy took it way too seriously, and obviously, you could see how pissed off he was. And I gotta blame that other guy, Dylan Danis, whatever he's called, just because he was smack talking Khabib, and Khabib basically just went full on Hulk mode and attacked him, which it's uncalled for. But at the same time, you can imagine how pissed off it is. And I feel like the fight itself didn't really give Khabib really what he wanted, just because he was booed off all the time in all the press conferences. There's so much smack talk on him coming from McGregor's team. That bus incident, So obviously there's a lot of bad blood between them. And what's really crazy about this is a couple of years ago, I saw like a 2014 photo, whereas Khabib was congratulating McGregor on one of his fights. But it seemed that all of that just went away. I don't like there was a point even when I thought it was staged. That's how crazy it went out of the hand. It was like the Tyson Holyfield fight, and that was pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, from one perspective, obviously security did really well. Connor did not press charges, but it's quite a mess. One thing I feel like we need to learn from this as well is that UFC is all about martial arts, and martial arts should be all about respect and respecting to your opponent. I know you're trying to sell a fight. I know you got to get those numbers up, and I know the more you sell a fight, the more you're going to get paid. But there should be some kind of boundaries in regards to just what you insult. And once you get family, politics, and faith involved, that never works out. And for some reason, the whole crowd kind of took a bit of that as well. Because when you're insulting, let's say the Irish, you're insulting a bunch of Irish people, right? It's just the same thing when you're insulting Dagestani or Russian people. So it gets out of hand pretty quickly. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I can't wait for the next crazy fight, whatever that'll be. Maybe there will be a rematch. I don't really think so. But yeah, that's me, and I'm done.